Hello, and thank you for checking out the Stars in Her Eyes weekly Soulcast. Changing things up a little bit this week. So what I have in lieu of a blog, and we're gonna just see how it goes over the next couple of weeks. Spirit came through pretty strong in a dream for me last night, and when I woke up, I wrote down as much as I could remember, as much of the message as I could recall. So this was immediate work or immediate writing that I did. And as well as the card reading that lets us know the energy that's going on as we step deeper into our purpose and really unlock our power. And so I really am so appreciative of everybody that has stepped into their purpose over the past week. I mean, it was very palpable that women are everywhere are starting to actually take the wisdom of the stars. They're getting their card readings. They're going inward and they're finding their sacred purpose, and they're moving in ways that serve it. And I think that is such just commendable, because it's really the more I step into this, the more I feel the waves of women or the feminine energy really embodying the work that they're here to do. And so it's exciting. It's really exhilarating to be a part of it. But what kind of happened as we approached the full moon last week, all of that Virgo energy and that Capricorn energy that we had started the week with, and we were really like zipping through our purpose, doing the work, birthing those creations, we started to have a little bit of, not a pushback from the universe, but we started to feel an energetic kind of setback because we had been working so hard. And really actively working, right? Actively addressing the things that were coming up, problem solving, immersing ourselves in our projects, in our purpose. And so one of the things that started to happen was, as that energy started to feel lower, we started to kind of lose faith in divine support or divine assistance. And one of the things that came up in the reading that I did last night on the YouTube channel is that we are divinely supported, that things will not always be delivered, like it's not always a linear timeline. Sometimes we're actually paying debts from past lives. We are also going to reap the benefits much later, where we might not see those connections, but the connections are for sure there. So what came forward in my dream, and I know it's my guide because my guides tend to call me wild-hearted woman or just wild heart. And so that is how the dream came forward, was with this really lavender, sparkly energy, and then just words. It's a beautiful experience to have, but we've heard your prayers and we feel your frustration. We feel the heartache, the soul ache that is coming up. But know this, you are not forgotten, you are not abandoned, and we would absolutely never step back from you to punish you or to teach you a lesson. That these opportunities, when we feel like no one's there, are all done in the name of our soul's growth. There's never a time where our guides are punishing us or saying, well, she didn't do this or she got this wrong, and that they are then just like, well, then we're going to teach her a lesson. So this isn't a negative reinforcement. The guide also came forward and said that they're very grateful for all of us having stepped so far into our purpose, but also for the trust that we've started to have and we've started to place in them. And what they're asking is that we hold on to that trust and we hold on to that faith just a little bit longer. There was this energy that came forward that, while you can't see it, the rewards, that they're there. That our confidence is on the rise, that our sense of value and worth of self is elevating, and that's part of the work that we're here to do. But this faith in things that are unseen is one of the big lessons from the spirit world that we're actually really being called to step deeper into in this time period, where we might be feeling that level of frustration or like, I'm working so hard. One of the things that also came forward is that they're asking that we actually lay down the tools, lay down the sword, so to speak, because the only person right now, if we continue to push, that we go to war with, or that the only battle we're fighting is a battle with ourselves, and it's not a constructive one. It's one that is depleting our energy because there's no need for it. There's no cause behind it other than we're kind of filling our space. And so one of the questions that was asked in my dream was, what can you distract yourself with while you wait for the prayer? I don't know why I put that in air quotes, while you wait for the prayer to be answered. And that maybe, what have you lost sight of? What have you been missing by being so single focused on having this prayer answered, of doing, working your spiritual path? There was this idea that we have, and this is echoed in the upcoming card reading. There's this idea that we've gone so far into spirit that we're forgetting, or the spiritual realm, spiritual world, spiritual growth, that we're forgetting that we are here to have a physical experience, that we are here to still do the fun things, the lighthearted kind of, stupid fun, I'll call it, like the stuff that feels like there's no meaning. We're here to partake in that just as much as we are to sit and do the things that grow. And in fact, in Spirit's eyes, there is no separation of that. There's no separation. And I will dig a little bit further into that within this card reading that I have for you. And so final thing from this dream was that our prayers and creations, they actually need time. That if they were to be delivered to us right now, it would be a premature delivery. And they need time to, the word that came up was gestate. So take from that what you will, but that there's time that the benefit, the reward, the work, it needs time to mature. It needs time to come into its fullest radiance so that it matches our effort. And it was, one of the phrases that came up is that you are worth more than fleeting success. So that was a really beautiful reflection to know, like, our efforts have not been, we haven't half-assed this. We have gone in and we have done the work, and we have dug into the shadow. We have danced in the underworld, and that the light is on us. It might just not be in the way that we were anticipating, but the light is very much there, and we just need to kind of be okay with that and nurture it and enjoy it as it's showing up, which you're being told to let that light filter in through the day-to-day. Okay, and then some suggestions that they had: when you feel that fear take over, that you've done all of this work for nothing, or when you feel that anger, that's not being, instant delivery, to send up that struggle, that anger, that frustration, just throw it up to them, and then let your guides filter it back to you with love and light. And also they will filter it back in a way where or have this lesson or this guidance reinforced. So that is a little insight, a little bit of divine wisdom that came forward to me through a dream last night. But now I'm going to dig into the card reading. And so for the reading, I used the deck, the Akashic Tarot, which is the one that I've been using for these weekly readings all month. So at the bottom of the deck was the Two of Scrolls, and the Two of Scrolls is all about what we were just really saying is this separation of the spiritual world and the material or the physical, the day-to-day. We see this woman, she has obviously worked quite hard throughout the day and out through the window, although these cards, the detail is very hard to tell through the screen, that in the distance there is a monastery, and she is really feeling this pull between like wanting to be immersed in spirit and the work that she has to do to provide for herself. And so at the bottom of the deck, when we see that at the bottom of the deck, it is an awareness that we need to start not differentiating between what is spiritual and what is kind of boring basic, that it's all spiritual, that it's all a part of the same thing. So, coming back to that message, that guidance that we got, what are you losing sight of? What in the basic world or in the physical world have you lost sight of because you've been so focused on your spiritual and soul growth? So really awesome insight and reinforcement from what came forward last night. So there were 4 cards, and the way they kind of laid out, they just kind of intuitively looked like they were cascading down a mountain. And so the first card, which is actually the 4th card I pulled, but I loved it in reverse. It made more sense to me reading the cards in the reverse of what I pulled them, is the 7 of Keys, the Ascent. And so what we're being told through this is that this is about doing the work, right? This frustration that we have, it's about doing the work. And knowing that this week we have to commit to seeding the energy of our purpose, of our spiritual energy into the physical world. So not differentiating, not separating. Okay. So even though it seems like God, I have to sit and pay bills, like it's also part of that spiritual growth. It's a part of that grounding and the physical experience. And so why is this coming up, or kind of what layer, what else can we learn about this? So we got card number 11, which is the Ark of the Covenant. These feelings are karmic in nature. We've done this before, right? We've struggled in lifetimes to connect, which is what we're here. This is our lifetime to connect our physical and spiritual experience and merge them, to harmonize, to bring them into union. So we're playing out some karmic contracts. You might see that coming forward in relationships. Maybe the relationship isn't being delivered as quickly, or it's not fulfilling you in ways that you need to, or maybe within your purpose, you're putting in the legwork, you're doing the heavy lifting, so to speak, but you're not seeing the payback. And so give it time. Okay. And so, like I said, the guides were very much what can you distract yourself with? And I know a lot of us have seen relationships fall away or dynamics change. And what you're being asked to do, the way forward, the distraction, so to speak, comes in the way of 8 of Roses, which is Sangha community. So we're being told those relationships that you've let fall away, maybe it's time to reevaluate them, or perhaps find new ones that are fulfilling and that embody the energy that you're taking with you on your spiritual path. It could be something like just getting out to a yoga class. Perhaps your yoga practice has suffered. You haven't been going out to classes. You've taken on more of a home practice role, which is beautiful. But perhaps you're being asked to step out and get back to a class. Have tea with a friend. Join meetup.com. Join a dating app. I don't know. But you're being asked to start stepping into kind of a social, to start socializing a little bit more, to expand your network, your community, and know that that's going to bring you some growth. That's going to help you to connect the human experience. You're going to find your tribe, so to speak. And so what's this end result? What energy are we really bringing forward this week if we follow this guidance, right? If we step into experiencing the physical world as spiritual, of making those connections, what do we have waiting for us? And we got card number 13, which is the Buddha prepares. So we see him sitting there in silence. This is part of the support in the waiting game, right? In that gestate, in giving our dreams, our prayers time to gestate, we have to sit and chill for a bit, kind of prepare to receive it. Okay, so when we start to wait, we also are given this opportunity to go inwards and find our inner truth, and it requires us, this waiting actually requires some willpower from us. So this is what we're learning is what I feel is like a spiritual life skill here, is patience and faith and trust. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the channeled message. I hope you enjoyed the card reading. I do have a webinar coming up on meeting your spirit guide, and within that webinar, it's going to be about 45 minutes long. I help clear your energy through meditation. I give you some insight into what a spirit guide is, all the different ones that are within you or that are guiding you, and then help you connect to one of them. And it's just kind of a seeing who comes forward and then learning ways that you can creatively nurture that relationship. So I do hope that you will join me for that. The link to register for it will be in this week's newsletter, which you can click on the link and grab. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed this new format. I know it's a longer video, but it was the way that I felt I could kind of tie all the things together and send you to one spot instead of going to a blog and going to YouTube and going to a Facebook group. So let me know how you feel about this week's message, if it resonates, what you're taking away from it, how you're connecting your spiritual and physical experience. But until we meet again, namaste.